When we come to daven, the Shemona Esrei, how do we daven? Quietly? Noisily? Do we scream the Shemona Esrei at the top of our lungs? The Shulchan Aruch addresses this question particularly. Siman Kuf Aleph, Seif Bet. Lo yitpalel b'libo levat. This is what the Shulchan Aruch says. You should not daven sort of in your heart. In other words, you're just sort of looking at the words perhaps, but you're not too involved in what's going on. Lo yitpalel b'libo levat. You should not daven in your mind. Ela mechatecha dvarim b'sfatav. But he should actually say the words of the Shemona Esrei. Umashmiya la'oznav belachash. His ears should be able to note the fact that you are actually davening, that you're speaking. V'lo yashmiya kol kolo. But he should not raise his voice. Not raise his voice. Now, when the Mishnah Berurah comes to explain why you shouldn't raise your voice, he says, after all, this is what the Gemara says, B'tfilat Chana, when Chana davened for a child, Rak sfatea naot v'kola lo yishama. Her lips moved, but no one heard her say anything of that. V'kola mashmiya kolo, the Gemara says, B'tfilato, Areze miktanei emunah. That if a person screams while he's davening, then he's in the category of those who have little faith, because they don't believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is listening carefully. So you have to scream to kind of wake things up in heaven. So, and therefore, silent kind of prayer would never work. And everybody who raises his voice and screams the Shemona Esrei, he's like a lying prophet, because they're the ones who would scream and yell, let's go and do all this idolatrous worship now, right? And then the Mishnah Berurah quotes other poskim who say that lechatchila, right, original ab initio, right, you should daven quietly. She'af chaveiro omeid b'samach lo yuchal lishma. Even a person standing right next to you wouldn't hear, right? Mikol makom, the Mishnah Berurah says, nevertheless, if he can't possibly have the proper kavanah, then he can do whatever he has to do in order to conjure up the intention necessary. Which seems like it means that if you think that by saying the words slowly, somewhat out loud, you would be able to fulfill your obligation of Shemona Esrei better, then so be it. However, you have to be careful not to annoy the people standing around you who also have an obligation to daven Shemona Esrei with the proper intention. So that the summary of this halacha is, I think, the following. A person has to say the words of Shemona Esrei. It's not enough to think the words. You've got to actually speak the words so that your ears can hear what you say. But different people need different settings in order to encourage the proper intention of Shemona Esrei. For some people, speaking somewhat louder is helpful. And for other people, it's a distraction. So that if you're one of the people who thinks that by speaking the words out loud, your intention is solidified and fortified, you nevertheless have to take into account the fact that there may be somebody standing next to you who is going to be disturbed distressed and unable to have the proper intention because of the loud way in which you are saying the Shemona Esrei. So that you have to be careful. When you stand to say Shemona Esrei, it's not enough to have a place, to have your feet together, get ready to say the words, but you have to also recognize that the people around you have to daven with kavanah, and it's got to be possible for you to daven without making it impossible for the person next to you to daven as well.